Hello mga ka-wildlife! Today I'll be joining you in this episode. Welcome to Wildlife Philippines Podcast. Care for life, protect wildlife. In our previous episode, Bri had a conversation with our friends and colleagues about the programs on rehabilitation and conservation of the mangrove forest in Quezon province by local governments and NGOs. For today's episode, we will be talking about mangrove biodiversity and the benefits of protecting them to the communities along the coastal areas. So as not to keep you waiting, today's guests are faculty members of the BS Biology program in SLSU. First, we have Sir Wilfredo Barrera. Sir Will specializes in genetics, cell and molecular biology, PGR conservation and management. He finished MS Genetics in University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Hello, Sir Will.
Hi, Ja, and to all the listeners.
Thank you, Sir Will, for being with us today. Also, joining us is Sir Mark Alvin Restan, aka Sir MA. He specializes in marine science and finished his degree in MS Marine Science in University of the Philippines Diliman.
Hello, Ja. Hello, listeners. Thank you for inviting us today.
The pleasure is ours, sir. To start off, we all know that mangroves play a great part in biodiversity. But how do experts view biodiversity?
Biodiversity is the variety of different life forms on Earth, including the different plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms, the genes they contain, and the entire ecosystem they form. It means that biodiversity can be defined at the micro level, like genetic diversity, and macro level, like biosphere or ecosystem diversity.
In addition to that, biodiversity is fundamental to sustaining life, supplying critical ecosystem services such as food provisioning, water purification, flood and drought control, nutrient cycling, and climate regulation.
Biodiversity is really important not only to mangroves but to all ecosystems. And speaking of mangroves, maybe some of our listeners have limited ideas about mangroves. Can you tell us more about mangroves, Sir M.A.?
Mangroves are actually salt-tolerant plants adapted to living in salt and brackish water. When we say brackish, it is a portion of a water body where salt and fresh water constantly mix. These plants vary in size from shrubs to tall trees.
Sir Will, it is said earlier that biodiversity is the variety of living organisms. And since mangroves are also living organisms, what are the different species of mangroves that can be found in the Philippines?
As far as I can remember, here in the Philippines, there are at least 33 species of mangrove as enumerated in the Field Guide to Philippine Mangroves by Dr. Primavera. Mangrove is a general term and does not pertain to any specific species in taxonomic hierarchy. Most of the time, people often attribute mangrove to shrub or tree species like Rhizophora or Bakawan and Scyphifora or Nilad. But actually, mangrove also includes other non-tree species like palm such as Nipa fruticans or commonly known as sasa and ferns such as Acrosticum aureum.
Ah, so Bakawan is actually one of the many species of mangroves. Before we continue, let's listen to Bri for some trivia.
Ding moment! Did you know that in 2018, there are 22 true mangrove species in Calauag and Alabat Island? Based on the article Comprehensive Assessment of Mangroves in Calauag and Alabat Island, Quezon Province, Philippines by Malabrigo, Tiburan, Umali, Eduarte, Gabriel, and Tobias, the most important mangrove species in Calauag is Bakawan lalaki or Rhizophora apiculata, and in Alabat Island is Bungalon or Avicennia Marina. On the other hand, the most threatened species are Gapas-gapas or Camptostemon Philippinensis and Piapi or Avicennia Marina var. Rumphiana.
Thank you, Bri. Going back, Sir M.A., why is mangrove important in maintaining biodiversity?
Mangroves support the natural food chain by forming a link between land and sea. Mangrove forest serves as the sanctuary of both aquatic and terrestrial wildlife. With their tangles and intricate root systems, Mangroves are excellent nurseries providing safe hiding places for young animals.
Is there something you would like to add, Sir Will?
Yes, the muddy waters around mangroves are rich in nutrients from decaying leaves and organic matter produced by mangroves themselves, and also from sediments trapped around the roots. These processes keep the ecosystem functional.
Well, aside from protecting our coastlines, what are other benefits of having mangroves to our community?
Well, fish and other marine life depend on habitats such as mangroves to enable them to feed, take shelter in, spawn, and reproduce. A good number of marine fish and invertebrates live in mangrove areas at some point of their life cycles and consider mangroves as their refuge. It means that the loss of mangrove forests equates to loss in fish catch and food supply.
That's right, Sir M.A. The mangrove forests are also important in maintaining the populations of bee pollinators, sustainable community livelihood, and ecotourism. For example, one of our colleagues, Professor Amalie Almasol, here in Southern Luzon State University, identified the suitability of beekeeping in Pagbilao mangrove forest for production of honey and other bee-related products.
Amazing! These mangroves are of great worth. With that, here's another trivia from Talon.
Ding moment! Did you know that Pagbilao Mangrove Experimental Forest is the world's second largest in terms of mangrove species richness? In an April 27 technical report, Mangrove Account by the World Accounting and Evaluation of Ecosystem Services or WAVES, the Pagbilao Mangrove Experimental Forest is located in Pagbilao Bay in Barangay Ibabang, Pasabangon, covering 145 hectares. It is declared as a genetic resources area as well as the National Center for Mangroves.
Thank you, Talon. Indeed, mangroves and its biodiversity are essential in our ecosystem. On the last note, Sir M.A. and Sir Will, can you please share with us ways on how we can protect the mangroves?
Everybody can participate in the protection of the mangrove forest, but the biggest effort should come from the government agency like Department of Environment and Natural Resources. There should be a constant dialogue between government agencies and experts to create science-based methods for mangrove conservation. Mangrove forests are constantly declining, so the first thing that we should do is to participate in the revival and rehabilitation of mangrove forests through tree planting activities.
I agree with you, Sir M.A. In fact, the rehabilitation should be community-based by empowering local communities to protect and conserve mangroves. Eco parks are also important. Establishment of sustainable mangrove eco parks is a good way of protecting and conserving mangroves. Not only it will provide aesthetic value for tourists, but it will also provide livelihood to local communities.
Thank you very much, Sir Will and Sir M.A. We really gained a lot from what you shared with us. I am confident that our listeners would love to help us in protecting our mangroves. Let us do our part in keeping the balance of life, not only for the present, but also for the future. We care for life and we protect wildlife.
This podcast is produced by Southern Luzon State University, written and directed by Brian D. Villaverde, Mary Jane S. Camarador, Khristalyn V. Fraginal, Shiela M. Manzanilla. Music are downloaded from freesound.org, bensound.com, and YouTube. Wildlife Philippines is an initiative under the Partnership for Biodiversity Conservation of Tanggol Kalikasan and is being supported by the USAID and the U.S. Department of the Interior International Technical Assistance Program.
Sa mundo ay may karapat-daang mabuhay. Kaya nga't pagmasdan, ganda ng kapaligiran. Kaya